now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Now it's better?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry for this.
No problem.
What is a digital twin? Digital twin is a virtual representation that serves as a real-time digital counterpart of a physical object or process. We find separate types of digital twins today, where solutions are built in the digital supply chain of manufacturing. There are the digital twins representing assets within the production or also on the factory floor itself. We see the notion of process digital twins, which are digital replicas of the complete end-to-end chain within the manufacturing and in the final product domain. And we also see system digital twins where all the interaction of assets across all elements of manufacturing are happening. By incorporating simulation and data analytics and machine learning capabilities, digital twins are able to demonstrate the impact of design changes, usage scenarios, environmental conditions, and other endless variables, eliminating the need for physical prototypes, reducing development time, and improving quality of the finalized product or process. Digital twins have been implemented in a variety of engineering sectors today, from construction to automotive, from healthcare to aerospace, from software engineering to cyber physical systems and blockchain. As I recognized when I visited the Hanover fair just 2 weeks ago, this topic was a very central one. And a lot of players has really incorporated the digital twin implementations in their product. For instance, Siemens and Dassault, who are really driving forward the complete digital engineering supply chain, product value and tool chain, and also the sustainability aspects. They have built very nice solutions implementing those digital twin concepts. Other company which is also very famous in the space, especially in the possibilities to design, simulate, and operate digital factories. NVIDIA also is delivering a lot of digital twin capabilities to support all those processes. And by the way, we also see this very much coming in the robotics area, which is a very big element of manufacturing today. So their advanced capabilities use digital twins for themselves in order to control them, to position them, and to help them to decide in their capabilities within manufacturing. So from these very interesting aspects, I really wish us a very interesting discussion on this, and hope you will learn a lot about this very important topic. And now I would like to hand back to Alejandra to have a talk about what we are doing in the EUTEC.
Hey everyone, thank you much, George, for those welcome words. As he already to you, I have the pleasure today of introducing you of who we are as an organization and what we offer to our members. So I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. Please let me know if you can see the presentation. You see it? Federico?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So to start, I believe that one of the most important things is to understand that EUTEC Chamber is a registered organization that believes that technology obliges. Indeed, that's our main goal, and we're able to achieve it and our vision in that way through 3 different focuses that are the competitiveness, the growth, and the sustainability. Now, exactly as a chamber, what do we offer? We don't offer services, but what we do have is, let's say, a value proposition that is composed by toolbox with different tools that you can use in order to grow your business, to expand your business, and to be very successful. And other programs that were created in order to help you to understand how you can join forces with others, maybe with the public sector, but as well with the private sector, how you can actually be part of even awards and competitions that are trying to recognize all those efforts of those that are trying to innovate with technology in different fields, in different industries and sectors. So just to give you some of the examples, we have more than 200 events along the year. This is one of those events. We are organizing these webinars monthly as well. We do have summits and expo and all these activities that right now we're doing it online, but we hope that we will be able to do this in person very, very soon. We will keep you updated about that. But take into consideration that all these activities that we do were created to facilitate sharing knowledge, creating awareness, but more than that is to understand how things are working maybe in this country, in this territory, and how maybe it can be connected somehow with where you are and what you're doing. Regarding the programs, as I told you, these programs were created in order to actually give you that strength in order to grow and to recognize all that effort that people like you are trying to implement to change today's reality. And this will be the case of the SDG Awards, as well the Climate Action Partnership, and so many others, but I don't want to get into the details because actually we can have a call to discuss all these details. So feel free to reach Federico or anyone from the team, and we will be very, very happy to guide you through all these value propositions. Regarding our alliances, we have 3 different types of sections, let's say. The first one will be the regional alliances. And with these ones, what we try to do is to have a closer approach to that specific territory. So we take into consideration the culture, the market itself, the economy, and how you can actually grow specifically in that place. It's not the same, maybe we think about Brazil, Germany, or Ghana, or Japan. And because of that is that it's very important to have that closer approach. And you will be able to do that with the regional alliances. With the impact alliances, we go even further. We go into the specifics. We want to understand somehow how we can make this world a better place. And we do that with 6 different impact alliances, as it is the case of SDGs, of Women in Tech, on climate action. Once again, remember, we will be very, very happy to provide you more information about all of these. Just feel free to reach us and we will provide you the complete information about all these alliances. And finally, we have the tech alliances. And with this ones is that we're able to specialize in all those industries and sectors. As you can see here, we have smart cities, we have digital transformation, environment, manufacturing, IoT, mobility, energy. And of course, we're going to be growing even more. So you will see that we're going to be opening more tech alliances soon. Now, regarding our upcoming summits, expos, and awards, remember that I told you at the beginning that we run different activities along the year. All of these activities are organized and led by each of the alliances that we have here in UTech. Some of them are webinars, others are networking groups, but these ones are, let's say, the big events. As you can see, we have different focuses and topics, and those that are coming, one of them will be the Latam Age Expo and Awards, but as well, we are going to have the UTech China Economy and Technology Expo, and you will see that we have a very interesting agenda for the next semester. So if you would like to join us, you are welcome. We will be very happy to have you, or as a speaker, or as a partner, as a sponsor, or just as part of the audience. So just let us know, and we will provide you more information about these activities. About the virtual events, I told you at the beginning that for us, it's very important to share knowledge, create awareness, and we're able to do that through the different webinars that we organize. But it's thanks to incredible panelists and speakers that we're able to do that. Indeed, today we have incredible professionals that are going to be sharing with you amazing insights about today's topic. So this is the case of the different activities that we run during the year. You can choose exactly which one is the topic that you would like to get involved in, and you can, of course, always join us in all the activities we organize. Now, we have the Tech Forum, that it's a unique platform to actually provide you very particular technological experience to all these big events, as summits, expo, and awards. If you have the time, I really invite you and encourage you to come to the Latin American Expo and Awards that is going to take place on the 30th of June, and you will see how it works, which is the people that is involved in these kind of initiatives, how the platform helps to do networking, to understand who is a part of the audience, but as well to interact with those that are part of the panels. So feel free to come to this event, and this will be a great example for you about the activities that we run. So this is everything from my side. It was a pleasure to be here. I want to wish you a very successful webinar, a very interesting conversation. And now, Federico, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Alejandra, and be sure that at least me, I will be there on June 30th in your Latin American Expo. I am sure it will be very successful, and we are going to help so many companies to increase business leads, to increase business possibilities in Europe, in Latin America, and worldwide. So, good morning. Thank you again for this introduction, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today in this UTEX Sustainable Manufacturing Alliance digital event. We are sure it will be very interesting for all of you to have a better understanding of a great topic, such as importance of digital twin in manufacturing development. I invite you all to share with us your questions about this topic. You can write them at the chat of this meeting room. Later, I will pick up some to ask them to our panelists. Please don't wait until the end of the panel to send your questions. You can do it anytime starting now. Today, we are honored with the presence of 3 great panelists, all of them with huge experience in digital twins. I am sure they will offer us different points of view about today's topic, sharing with us a great vision about it. Please let me introduce you Michal Ukropek, a charismatic visionary who has successfully recognized and claimed a lot of opportunities in the past 20 years to make the world a better place. Whether as a successful entrepreneur through his passion for digital technology or as an inspiring leader who has been steering his own company for 3 decades in the spirit of industrial democracy, or as a philanthropist who founded the Slovak Institute of Technology, which has set itself the goal to bring the practical world closer to students of information technology. Michal is now investing most of his energy into the latest endeavor that started in 2014 with the 3-dimensional live digital twin, Twinso, and is currently conquering the manufacturing world in such companies as Skoda Auto, Securitas, Whirlpool, Plastic Omnium, and Mondelez. Our second panelist is Timur Aliev, currently leading the product strategy and innovation area in NEC Corporation. During his 10 years trajectory in NEC, he has involved in the different digital transformation waves such as cloud, IoT, 5G, and AI. Previously, he held several management responsibility positions, product management, marketing, and business development in multinational companies such as SanDisk, Nokia, or Airbus. Timur is a computer science engineer by Autonomous University of Madrid and has an executive MBA degree by IE Business School. Last but not least, please let me introduce you Laszlo Georgipal, who has a 20-plus year career in bringing innovative technologies to markets, all with the aim for a more efficient operation and cooperation. After several key positions at multinational corporations like HP or T-Systems, Laszlo built and led a key ICT research and development center with a funding of over $4 million. This resulted in several successful spin-offs that he then directed and advised, included JobCTRL, a SaaS service that uses AI to boost the efficiency of online work by over 20%, and 4 continents for customers such as Deutsche Telekom, Telenor, and Transcom. His latest focus in 2015 is Potsi Technologies, a company aiming to fundamentally transform processual operations, manufacturing, agriculture, healthcare by gathering and using real-time data for maximum efficiency. It has already been validated by many of the global 50 manufacturers, resulting in a dramatic savings in production time and instant work in process inventory. Dr. Georgi Pal holds a law degree from Pazmany Peter University, studied technical management at Technical University of Budapest, presented at and moderated various international conferences, and holds numerous product and innovation awards like the IT Business Leadership Award, the V4 Startup Tour, Reinhard Pitch, Hannover Messe, etc. So after this brief but impressive introduction, again, to all the speakers, to all the people here in this room, welcome. And let's start with the panel. And we're going to start with Laszlo. Laszlo, good morning. What are the most important data sources of a factory's digital twin?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for putting this webinar together. When we talk about the digital twin, we want to as fully represent reality as possible. Therefore, we have to see what are the most important aspects of that reality that we want to examine. Just a side note, when we talk about digital twins, we are largely and very much focused on industrial manufacturing. But a digital twin, any operation can have a digital twin. A hospital can have a digital twin, an office building can have a digital twin, an agricultural operation can have a digital twin. So what we need to put in service or in action is the most thorough set of data that we can acquire. Now, Michal will talk about how to represent this data. I will talk about more about how to gather the data and what type of data. We have to, first of all, we have to identify what are the relevant objects of that operation or process. When we have that, we have to identify those. So, I mean, we have to summarize, we have to identify those, each one by one. We have to see where they are. In a factory operation, that's crucial. You have to see what is where in possibly in real time. Then you have to have gathered data about these objects' status. What are they actually doing? And last but not least, you have to gather relevant data about their environmental factors. So these would be the most stringent set of data that needs to be represented. And if you have all that, if you have all the data, then you can have it available in a digital twin, or as an addition, you can have it interfaced with all the other production planning, ERP, VMS systems that can utilize this real-time data. So what the novelty of all this is the real-timeness of the data. We have to see, and we will debate mostly with Timur, because he has the most insight on that aspect of digital transformation. That real-time data needs a totally new approach to planning and surveying an operation.
Thank you, Laszlo, for this answer. Now we are going to continue with Michal. Michal, good morning. Where are the main benefits of such a solution like a digital twin?
Thank you, Federico, for the invitation. Hello to everyone. It depends on what kind of digital twin are we talking about, because there are more kinds of digital twins. We are on the level, as Laszlo mentioned, that we want to visualize the real-time data of, in this case, plant, but it's not just about plants or factories, but also other things like hospitals, offices, and other premises. But for many people, the digital twin is just the 3D representation of something. It can be a drone scan, LiDAR scan, photogrammetric scan, a BIM model of the building. So it depends on the user, on the use case, and so on. But we see the future not just in this one or some particular verticals. For example, for Siemens, it's the simulation. Okay, but we see the future somewhere else. So to glue all these things together, to get all the data under one roof. So the real-time data, the past, of course, the predictions of the future, the simulation, and then we can do the magic. So we put all these layers on each other and can begin to check it. So this was the plan, this was the reality, this is saying the prediction, and where are the differences? So many use cases, and it depends on the digitization level of the company. If the company is having their plans in their mobile phones, or if they are running on the paper.
Are you going to show us later how it works in the mobile phone?
If you say yes, I will.
Of course, later you, whenever you want, you can do it, because of course I already saw it from you, but for those people that don't know about that, for me, at least the first time I saw it, it was like magic. So you should show it, and so the people can understand a little bit better. So thank you. Yeah, please. Whenever you want later. Yeah. Thank you so much, Michal. Timur, good morning.
Good morning.
Why companies and manufacturers need a digital twin?
Yeah, so guys, just adding to what Laszlo and Michael mentioned earlier, I think that there are two key aspects that the companies are looking for while taking the decision to digitalize and implement the digital twin, right? So one is definitely the visibility of the products and the processes that are running in the organization. So, and this visibility driven by the data that the companies already have. It can be both real-time data. Eventually, the more actual data and the more immediate data, you can take better decisions. And the problems that you would be detecting with this data basically would have direct impact on your business. The earlier you detect the issues, the earlier you can react and definitely take actions. And then the other part is to increase efficiency of your operations. So those two fundamental aspects of anticipating or detecting the problems and improving the operations of your company by tweaking and looking for some small details that maybe you are missing in your daily operations that would be unveiled with more deep dived way of retrieving information about your process and products. This is what we consider are the key drivers for organizations to retrieve and to take the decision to implement a digital twin and start this journey. Eventually, I can say that that this is part of the digital transformation for the smart manufacturing. So it's like one of the Industry 4.0 fundamental building blocks as well, along with AI and cloud computing. And but definitely for manufacturing, it has most of the impact nowadays in terms of return on investment that you make nowadays.
Thank you, Timur. Thank you so much. To all the attendees, I just remind you, you can start to write questions if you want in the public chat in the left side of your screen. There is a public chat. In there, you can write your questions, your comments to whatever we are speaking about or whatever you want to know from the speakers. To the speakers, I also remind that you guys can anytime add whatever you want from any others answers or interact whenever you want without letting me know. You just speak or raise your hand or whatever, and you can also, let's say, interact with the rest of the speakers. One more question for Laszlo. Laszlo, who can monetize the data provided by a digital twin?
Practically anybody or everybody. It largely depends on the set of data. You see, when we talk about digital transformation, you need to be aware of the three layers of the entire concept. The ground layer is the reality. What is going on? What is actually happening? The second layer is the data layer that describes to the largest extent that reality. And then the third layer is the representation. How can you see that? That's the digital twin. Now, I can mention at least, I don't know, when we talk about a factory, at least 10 different departments that can actually monetize, actually turn into cash the data represented or shown by a digital twin. If we start, let's stick with the industry. Let's start with production planning and control. If you know what's going on, then you can plan and execute accordingly. Supply chain management, warehouse management, material flow control. These are all the different aspects of the same processual part of manufacturing. Human resources, finances. When we talk about a process, every single step has a financial value. If you see the process in real time being advanced, then you don't only see the physical layer of that process, but you also see the financial layer of the process. So when we talk about digital twin, you can actually have an instant working process inventory visualized right in front of you. So when Michal talks about layers of this digital reality or the digital aspect of reality, a financial layer is one of those. Quality assurance. If you have everything monitored and also recorded in real time, then you have a very thorough and very meticulous documentation of all the processes that you are examining. Not to talk about maintenance management. When we talk about a facility, if there's a pipe broken and that's digitally visible, you don't have to see it physically, but you already are aware of the problem and you can take action. That also translates to financial aspects as everything else. And very much not least, environmental health and safety. If you know where things are, then you can prevent accidents, you can provide a safer work environment, you can provide a more ergonomic environment. So there's practically everything that operates in the real world can be foreseen in the virtual world. And that can be monetized in every aspect of it.
Thank you, Laszlo. Now we are going with Michal. Michal, how do you track the people or machinery with your solution? Now maybe it's a good time to show it.
Okay. I show you two things very quickly. The first one. So, okay, this is not a plant. This is an office building. So all these orange dots, sorry for this psychomotoric exercise, are people right now, okay, live. And then people ask me, Michal, how do you track these people? What do you say? Have you been vaccinated? No. No, it's not about vaccination. We have different technologies, and this is a plant. And let's check this. So here we have some. It's a real plant, but some test data, because I can't show you here a live plant. So give me a second. Hopefully the technology will not strike. Okay, here we see here we have two forklifts in a 3D layout. We have the spaghettis. Okay, so you can see where the guy was working at what time. You can play with it like in a movie player. So you can play the shift and check all the stuff, and not just track the machinery or people, but also the production quality or whatever it is. And how to track it? It depends on the use case, the budget you have, the thing you want to track. Because if you want to track, let's say, people, you can track Android mobile phones. So no iOS devices, but Android. If they have company phones, you can have their app, and you can track it quite precisely. If you want to track big packages, you have to use another technology. If you want to track every tiny small thing, you need to choose another one. So it depends on the use case, how many tags you need. If in case of packages, if these packages are or these racks with the material are leaving the plant or not, if it's leaving, where is it going, to the customer or to another your plant? So you have all these tags in the closed cycle. So it depends, because you can't put €5 or €100 in expensive case tag on something that leaves your plant, and you will never ever see the tag again. So even with RFID, when the UHF tag costs, let's say, 10 cents, you can't put 2 million tags just so on something and let it go to the wall, because it's hundreds of thousands of euros yearly cost, and just because of tracking. So you have to choose very wisely, and then you need to find the right use case, because for people tracking, let's say it's safety, security, auditing of some processes and so on. For material, typically, where is the box I can find the material or something. For the logistics, I need to know what my people are doing, because if you have 3 forklifts, there is no big deal. But if you have 500 forklifts in a really big plant, typically in automotive business, there is no chance to track it in person. So many options, and it needs some evaluation for every single use case, but we can combine these technologies together.
Thank you. Michal, one question for Timur. Timur, where to start with digital twin?
Yeah, so I think that eventually every business is different, right? And every company when it starts this journey, usually the best way is to sit and think, like, what are our current issues? So what are the things that maybe we would like to know about our company, and we never got this information before. So now with IoT introduction, you have plenty of ways to actually retrieve data from both items, assets, processes that you didn't have this chance before. And now it's possible to monitor and retrieve this data. And therefore, new ways of solving your current issues arise, right? So it can be that in your case, some machinery is failing randomly, you don't know why, and you're just resetting it, or you have issues with your suppliers, and they delay some of the deliverables to you from time to time. You just let it go, or you try to solve it, but it never worked. Or maybe some of the organization processes in your companies are just not efficient as you'd like them to be. So any of those aspects can be actually transformed into a digital twin. And the point, like, usually we suggest our customers to start with a quick win. So those things that are easy to monitor and maybe would give you, through the direct just data input, they would give you some visibility to already improve the efficiency of your organization. And there, as Laszlo mentioned, the real-time data is actually key to detect problems, and maybe even sometimes we can predict those problems. For that, you would need some time eventually to store the data, but it's feasible. But there are different also maturity levels for digital twins. So you could you can just start small, and just by having what we call a data twin. So you just retrieve data. You don't perform much, maybe much predictive actions or apply some AI technologies to forecast the future, but you just start monitoring what some of the processes or some of the machinery that you have in your plant. And already with this small start, with start generating data around your assets, this is the first step for you to in this digital transformation journey, because afterwards, incrementally, you can add more and more pieces to the puzzle, and therefore create a more complete view on your manufacturing process or the whole plant environment. So what Mikhail showed you is a full journey, right? So it does not happen from one day to another. And there are plenty of data sources that are involved there. You need to maintain this. But it's the start is not so hard. So just start by connecting your assets, by connecting, taking a look into the process that you have in place, and already with getting some visibility into them would already help you to solve some of the problems that you have in your daily operation, and therefore show to the top management the benefits of the digital twin implementation, and then give you more resources to continue growing and fulfilling this journey.
Thank you, Timur. Laszlo, who are the key buyers for digital twin technology at manufacturers?
That's a tough question. Probably Michal could answer that better, because they are directly selling the digital twin itself. We at POSI, we are producing the data those digital twins can work with. But Michal, please correct me if I'm wrong. Practically any aspect or any part of a manufacturer can initiate a need or a demand for a digital twin. However, our expertise or our experience is that wherever there is a digital transformation department, that's where the need raises. If there is such a department, that means that the digital maturity of that company has reached the level where they are actually are able to use a digital twin. Michal, what's your take on that?
Yes, there are really different stages where companies are right now. Some at the FPS, so sorry, fucking paper solution, to very high level of digitization of the company. So they have every tiny thing in some information system. In best cases, under one roof, even if it's SAP. But in most cases, they have something between 38 information systems, then something in Excel, something in Google shared sheets, and something on the paper. And they are jointly with it and dealing somehow to do it. So the situation is getting better and better. So people or companies are now much better listening than, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years ago when we showed them the app. Nice, okay, cool, but we don't need something like that. Ciao. Now companies are coming. Yes. This is exactly what we need, because the site is too big, too complicated. Yes, we have this layout, but nobody is able to read it, because we need to provide the information not just to the highest management, but also to the guys on the shop floor, and even people working on the shop floor for 20 years. If you give them the layout, I'm not sure where I'm at right now. So also the visual is now getting important, because it's not just about the data. Yes, the data is important, but it's just one of the pieces in the puzzle.
In that regard, let me just quickly jump back to that. In that regard, a digital twin is actually the forefront of digital transformation. Mikhail's system is actually making the digital data available. It makes the digital twin system makes it tangible, makes it something that people at enterprises can work with. And in that regard, digital twin systems for us at POSI are very, very important, probably the most important sales channels or sales tools. In comparison, when you go to a movie, you see the movie, you appreciate the movie, you pay for the movie, but you do not pay for the cameraman, you don't pay for the catering, you don't appreciate the massage that is given for the actors. There is a huge amount of work in the background that is invisible, and inappreciated, but you do pay the ticket for the movie or for streaming that movie itself. That's the forefront. That's the essence of everything else in the background. That's why digital twins are so important. We have been at POSI, we have been trying to sell the data for years now. And as Mikhail said, along with the transformation, along with the development of the digital readiness of these companies, it didn't come out that their need for data has grown. It turned out that their need for tangible data, understandable data has grown. And that is the key with digital twins. Because the data is already there or has been there for some time now. We have been around for 7 years. Sensor technologies have advanced enormously. Everything in the world is now, almost everything is measurable. But in order for a company or a department at a company or a person or a decision maker to have that data understandable or to have it presented in an understandable format, that's the value of the digital. That's the huge value of the digital twin.
Yeah, just to add to what Laszlo and Mikhail mentioned, I think that I fully agree with you that the data is the first building block, and the data by itself, you cannot make much use of it, right? So you need somehow to apply this data to some real cases and to actually exploit it, right? And the digital twin is actually making use of this data to help you to solve your business issues. And this is why this combination of there can be no digital twin without data, and the data by itself is both feeding the digital twin and then allowing you to build things on top, like the AI-based prediction models, like the forecasting of the future within your organization. So this, I think that is the fundamental shift from what we had before, with just data that was available from multiple systems. In many cases, it was not real time, or there was no sensor data available, years back, and now the price point to implement this technology is getting to the point where you can censor almost anything, get enough data to take proper decisions.
Thank you, guys, three of you. Let's continue with our questions. This question for Michal, and this is, in my opinion, a very important question. Michal, what about the data privacy? What happens with data privacy?
Yeah, people tend to think that GDPR is forbidding everything, but it's not about forbidding. It's about pushing the companies to clearly communicate that we are going to track all this stuff. People should know about that, and that's it. So it's not like mainly in German region, but not just in Germany, but also in Austria. Michal, you can use such a technology in Germany because blah 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 unions or something like that. It's not true. We have these solutions in England, in the Middle East. They have their own version of GDPR. We have here in Eastern Slovakia or in Slovakia or in Eastern Europe in general, in Czechia, it's Skoda. So it's not about forbidding something, but it's about the clear communication. We need to track this stuff because we need to improve something, and that's the most important thing. That so the people cooperate with the technology and with the purpose of these solutions is about the use case and the right communication. So we say all the time, please bring also the unions to the table, okay? Because we are providing just the data visibility. We are not saying fire this one or fire that one or hire more people. No, we are providing the data and please, here is the data and make the decisions. So also the management, the labor, the unions see what's going on the shop floor, and then they can decide, because in just very few cases, there are bad people in management or in union. No, they just want to have fair handling. And if you provide them with the data, okay, guys, here is the data, solved. And they find the solution immediately. So in the end, it's easy.
Thank you, Michal. Timur, what to twin? What kind of things we can twin or companies can twin?
I mean, basically, you can twin any process or any item in your organization. The point is like which maturity level you have in terms of having the data for this item or process, and how far you want to go, right? So actually, I think that one of the questions from the audience is actually about like where to start and how to start with this digital twin journey in terms of like getting the buy-in from the top management. And there, I would say that you can twin the things that actually have most impact on your daily operation. So if you have issues, as I mentioned, with some of your machinery that is failing, sensorize it, take the real-time data, start generating historical data on this machine, and you would be able to actually forecast in the future and correlate data and predict like when it will fail again. Maybe you would be able to also detect the issue with this machine before it happens, and maybe it's a matter of the traditional use case of predictive maintenance. Or you might have issues with processes. If you monitor those processes, you have enough data for those processes, you digitalize them, you have them in your digital twin model, you would be able to actually create some kind of simulation. Hey, if I change these parameters, what would happen? If I change that, what would happen? And this what if analysis, instead of impacting directly your daily operations, you can make them in the digital environment and then apply progressively to your real environment. So I would say it's always about having good data at the back, and this good data, it should be clean data. If possible, it should be a real-time data. It should be potentially labeled data. So the most effort that you would be doing is actually retrieving and integrating data. And then after that, the next step for you, so once you have this data-driven twin, let's say this is the basic status of in the digital twin journey, then you can actually improve, and then you can start creating augmented twins with some external information fed. You can have the context-aware twin with twins talking to each other, sharing information. Then you can have the AI-enabled or cognitive twin, which already have some additional future prediction functions that would allow you to forecast the future. So as I always say, like start the journey small with maybe easy achievable goals, and with a data twin, you would already have a good buy-in from your top management to actually have some first wins or quick wins, and then have further investment to expand the solution.
Thank you, Timur. Since we are having quite a number of questions already from the audience, let's try to reply some of them, at least 2 or 3 or 4 of them. So, they can interact also with you guys. And for example, right now, Timur, you were speaking, or all of you were speaking about data. Any one of you can answer. So for example, Shalini is asking, will the digital data be stored in a blockchain? Anyone?
From my perspective, not that fast, because there's also quite weak motivation for that, because blockchain is about not changing the data. So I have many parties and I want to store there something that nobody can change. But in this case, what plant wants to share the data with someone else? So there is a mismatch, in my opinion, between the wish of the plant. I want to have all the stuff secretly just for myself, mainly quality information, and then I don't want to share it with someone else. So I don't expect it too fast. But in supply chain, it's another topic. It might be a big thing, because if someone cheats, I want to see that he is cheating. So in manufacturing, maybe not. In supply chain, maybe yes.
Yeah, my view on this is that I think it depends on which type of data you're talking about. So some critical data that you might need for compliance or to demonstrate that actually you followed some ISO standards, you might be storing it, but it would be something specific, because the cost and to store the data in blockchain, it's just not assumable with huge amounts of data that you would need your daily operations in the plant. So some parts of the data I might see it feasible. If you need some immutable data that you need to prove that it was not changed or you followed some standardization procedure.
Let me just quickly add, we have a few buzzwords and some very, very fancy terms that have risen in the last 10 years. IoT, cloud, big data, blockchain, and we have a tendency to stuff everything into these terms. Now, let me give you an example. Big data and cloud computing has proven to not fulfill, practically not fulfill everything that it was desired to fulfill. Especially in manufacturing, when we talk about IoT and Internet of Everything, that's a failure. I held a lecture back in 2017 where I was fortunate to hold a presentation along with the CEO of SAP, Bill McDermott, the CEO of MasterCard. Everything was about IoT and everything was about cloud computing. And there I said, according to our perspective, if you collect all the data, put it up in the cloud, and try to have more and more massive big data algorithms, analyze them and try to choose the proper data for you at a certain point, that will, after a while, will not work. You will have to have a more structured way of handling data. That didn't have a name back then. Now it's called edge computing or fog computing. That has, when the cloud touches the ground, that that is the proper way of handling data. Going back to blockchain. Blockchain is, again, not for everything. It is for some very particular and very well-defined purposes. But it is not, all these four terms or all these fancy terms will not solve problems. They will, they give you access to certain technologies that can help you solve a problem, but they will not do magic on themselves.
Thank you, guys. One more question from the audience, and please, if I don't pronounce some names well, sorry for that. I will do. I will try to do it as best as possible. Cities Boara is asking: does digital twin always has to become one-to-one representation of product and processes? What will be a demarcating difference between digital twin and digital shadow? Anyone?
Yes and no, and yes. You have a digital twin of something that you desire to have a digital twin for. If you want to know something about your operation, you can watch it physically or watch it virtually or have some systems gather data about them and work on them. The difference between digital twin and digital shadow is digital twin is a live representation of reality. Digital shadow is, up to my understanding, is the footprint that live action has generated in the past. So the liveness of these two is, according to my understanding of digital shadow, that's the difference. Michal, Timur, help me out here, because digital twin is a much more frequently used term than digital shadow. I know only from a security standpoint or cybersecurity standpoint that digital shadow is what does it define actually?
I want to stay in to be a practical guy. What exactly is the definition of what actually I don't care? So what we want to bring is mobile Gemba, so the guy on the shop floor, or from the guy on the shop floor to the plant manager, or to the central team somewhere in Germany or France or whatever country, so they have the data available 24/7, and that architects and IT guys and geodets think that their interpretation of what the digital twin should be or is not. Sorry, I don't care.
Yeah, I can add on this one-to-one representation, right? So ideally, yes, if you have all the data in the world and you can simulate up to a single molecule of what you try to twin, you would have one-to-one representation. But in the reality, you should go as far as it is enough for you for your business goals. So if it's already enough just to have one of the important parameters of the operations of your production plant, and that already solves many business issues for you. It's already a good starting point for kind of digital twinning it, right? And then as long as you're solving your issues, you can make it more and more complex and more intelligent and more and more advanced in forecasting the future. So my point is that it will never be one-to-one full representation. It's just the best that you can make it, as long as it's valuable for you.
Thank you, guys, for this answer. One more question from the audience. Nefne is asking, maybe this is directly for you, Michal. Of course, any one of you can answer, but since he's speaking about the APP, he says, can the APP make predictive and optimization analysis, or just make some calculation with real-time data to show current situation?
Thank you. So this is the future, okay? I think future, I don't know about it. It would be possible in practical way to do it today, because most of the companies are not even able to get the data under one roof and to find the patterns and to say this is standard, this is not. So yes, it will be in the future, but not today. At least what I have seen till now, because when we come to a plant and we typically start with the logistics, we ask simple questions. Could you provide us with the layout? But we don't have an actual one. Okay. Can you tell me what fleet do you have? Okay, let me check. In 2 months, we get an Excel file with the list of forklifts they have. So, and then you ask, okay, guys, and can you tell us what is the standard route for this one and that one? And Michal, we don't know. Sorry. So, until they alone can I use another words. We help them to see and to know what's going on in the plant. So that's the phase number 1. And when they see what's going on, we didn't know that we have that and that and that process. Yes, because we have a big fleet and you have no chance to know every single tiny detail during 4 shifts. So first step is to know what's going on, and then they can use their own brains to optimize it. And one day, when having the logistics, production, quality, environmental data, energy consumption, then we can begin to think about that. So it will be not that fast. We would like to see it, but I don't see it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Michal. One last question from the audience. What are the top, Jason asks, what are the top industry standard software packages for digital twin data analysis?
That's definitely for Michal.
Apart from Twinso?
Well, I would say that I answered this question with the previous answer. There are some standards, but look, we come to a plant, okay? We have all these standards. Okay, cool. And you come to another Dare plant 100 kilometers far away, and they are describing you another standard. So, and you ask them, guys, but these your standards doesn't match at all. So what standard? There is in reality no standards, because you have one production line 50 years old, another one 20 years old, another one 2 years old, and this supplier doesn't exist anymore, and that is running on Windows XP, okay? And what standard? So there are companies and organizations who want to standardize something. Come on, not in the manufacturing business, or not in 2022, and not with all these big brands willing to set their own standard. So if you are not able to get the data to the Excel, plus we need to get the data ideally via MQTT. We don't have these ports open, sorry. Okay. REST API via HTTP, not HTTPS. So without secured connections, you are getting the data, just plain text sending over the internet, and you are just staring. Okay, fine.
The thing is, this entire part of the industry, or not just the industry, this entire part of the world is being developed. So, like, you try to put together an airplane on flight. You don't really have time in advance to standardize for most of them. Bluetooth, for instance, was around for quite a few years until it became standardized. Ultra-wideband has been around for 10 years and now it's being standardized. There are some legacy standards that can be used and should be used. But if your customer doesn't use them, then it's, as Michal said, then you turn to what they are using, even if that's some proprietary protocol. Actually, Christoph had an interesting question is a DT concept limited only to modeling facilities or processor, or it's a broader concept of object representation and sharing? Michal, if you, I don't know if you agree with that, but I can say that digital twin is now getting more and more everywhere.
We are saying digital twin for everyone, so that's why we have in the app. So go to the App Store, seek Twinzo Digital Twin, plant, office, space station, smart home. We have now car from Skoda in the app, so it doesn't matter what size of the thing or the premise it is, or what the use case. It will be everywhere, and we have found that there are getting more and more verticals, because at the beginning we thought, okay, manufacturing is the right way, but supply chain is another one. Hospitals is a special thing, because if you have an X-ray for 20,000 euros and you can't find it in the hospital, it's an issue, or lost patient or something like that. So really many use cases.
This was, let me see, yes, I am unmuted. This was my next question for you. And in fact, Laszlo, apart from manufacturing, other industries that started using digital twins to enhance the operational efficiency, more or less you guys already replied, right? That there are many.
More and more. However, let me point out, we are talking about manufacturing now. So that's, we are in the manufacturing alliance now. To point out in manufacturing, what is the most important aspect of that? That is and has been my most important message, quote, to put out there for manufacturers to see. Everything that we talked about, digitizing everything, every part and aspect of the operation is very important. However, if you want to use digital data to increase your efficiency, then we talk about manufacturing, you have way less opportunities to increase your efficiency. Let me tell you why. Manufacturing in its essence is a very simple process. Some objects change their physical location while their physical attributes are being changed. That's in essence. You take something out from the raw material warehouse, you put it through a process, and it ends up in the product warehouse. Therefore, the changing the location is an inherent aspect of manufacturing. Now, if you want to boost the efficiency of manufacturing, there are two aspects that you can work with. One is the efficiency of the machinery. Everything in Industry 4.0 is about making the equipment, the machinery, the production line more and more efficient. We have reached a level of efficiency where it is extremely expensive to add another 1 or another 2% of efficiency increase in the machinery or in the environment. That's even more how to say, maxed out. However, let me quickly, can I share my screen? Let me quickly show you one thing that is that actually represents the most, according to us, the most important aspect of Here we go. This is it. Can you see can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Here's what
Now,
you see.
now we cannot. Now.
Okay, I will just leave it here. Lean waste is there. It has 7 classical categories: transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, and defects. Now, 5 out of this 7 are logistics related. Transportation, most definitely. Inventory, very much so. Motion, very, very much so. Waiting, it turns out even overproduction in a large number of cases, the loss or the waste coming from overproduction is due to insufficient data or invisible data in the production logistics process. So what I am trying to emphasize here is that if you want to install or implement a digital twin, start with this aspect of your operation, because that is the quickest win. And I can make a bet with anyone out there that if getting proper and real-time automated validated logistics data, or let me put it in a more broader perspective, if you have a real-time answer to your question about what is where, so you can identify and locate the objects in your production process, then you instantly eliminate at least 15% or 10 or 15% of your logistic, or improve your logistics processes by at least 10-15%, just by gathering the data. Now, if you work with that data, you have another at least 10% to save. So, and that is not a few percent. That's 20-30% of operational inefficiency lying around there, invisible. Digital twin is important because you can visualize it, you can see it.
Thank you. Laszlo, question for Timur. Key implementation challenges of digital twin, Timur.
I think, again, like it starts with data. So data quality. Data quality is one, because if you don't get accurate data from your sensors or external sources, basically it mines like anything that you can build on top. So you won't just, you would never get proper results. And as Laszlo and Mikhail mentioned, the data interconnectivity. So this is the aspect that I mean, it creates much work for NEC as an integrator. So we spend much time of the projects actually interconnecting data, because as we just discussed, there are in many cases you have outdated systems. It's not standardized yet, and we need to put all the data in place. So this is something that is hopefully over time with initiatives like the data spaces initiatives like Gaia-X, ITSA, and other initiatives on the European level that help somehow to standardize the data pools and data interconnectivity. It would become much easier and faster to interconnect data, not only inside a single company, but also inside between different companies. And again, like as you grow it, you can see it on the level of just maybe one department or one plant, but then you could have the company spread among different countries with different legislations. In some cases, you cannot share parts of the data that is required for because of legal aspects. So as Laszlo mentioned, like there are parts of it won't be all going on a local level or to the cloud. We're starting seeing things in the digital twin environment with fog computing, with some depending on the policies and what is allowed to to do with data. Basically, you can perform some actions needed for the digital twin data locally. Some of them can be computed remotely, etc. So this orchestration of data management and functions that are related to the digital twin is another challenge that we see today, both from legislation perspective and also making it more efficient. And then I think security is definitely a big concern because in many cases, because of security issues that you might have, like people just don't want to expose or share the data to be used. And even if it's used and you did not protect properly your digital asset, in one place you are exposing like most of the operations for a particular either asset or plant or whatever you're twinning. So there are new solutions coming on in the market from cybersecurity perspective to actually protect the IoT environments and the digital twin environments. So those challenges, I think, that are on the technical level, and then on the social level, you have from one side over expectations of this magical digital transformation that just maybe in a few weeks or few months you would already see results. I would say yes, you will see results, but as Michael mentioned, it's a journey. So you already would spend some time, I mean, depending on the maturity of your company, just aggregating data. And then the AI part and prediction will come as soon as you have a stable environment with stable data flows that you can use both from past experiences and in real-time actions to start forecasting the future. And as last point, I would say that there's also some internal let's say concerns from sometimes the people who work on some processes. They know much about this process, and when you try to digitalize it and somehow replace this person activity with a digital twin, basically there might be frictions, and this is you need and we need to very carefully step in initially, again, like to help these people to embrace this digital transformation. So their activity does not need to disappear, but they need to become experts that can actually feed the intelligence of the digital twins to combine their knowledge with the digital twin knowledge, which comes based on the real-time sensor data and previous experience in this domain. So those, I think, are the key aspects, at least that we see in our business operations.
Thank you so much, Timur. Michal, we have been speaking about the current state, but where is the future? What can you tell us about that?
Thank you, Federico. So I described it already. So when we have the data under one roof, then we can try to find the magic there somewhere. Mainly, we see the future in the predictive quality. So under these circumstances, this happened, and when these circumstances begin to occur again, we can send a notification, check this process because last 2 weeks there was a pattern that caused something wrong in the production quality. So that the current direction we are going. But sorry for that, I see here 2 other questions in the chat. Payback time, and not from the predator.
Sure.
And the low-hanging fruit, quick win. So very quickly, and then I will leave some spaces for Laszlo. quick win. So our record is after implementation of indoor tracking of internal logistics, they were able to cut 17 from 37 forklifts. And if one forklift, including labor cost in Czechia, the Czech project, cost to 60,000 euros, 60,000 times 17 is 1 million euros yearly saving. So that was the first question. And the second one, how can it be quick? Yes, if you implement such a technology quick, and the guy who is leading the project checks the result, the progress is immediate. Simply, he sees what is that, bam, solved. So it provides the data quickly, and also the first optimizations are the biggest and the best. So they can see things that they didn't see yet. So it has quick payback because we are not the SAP. Sorry, SAP.
Thank you, guys. Now, one last, let's say, question before letting Jörg, that is already here, before letting Jörg say something else. One last question for three of you, guys. So let's say maximum 30 seconds for each one of you. Any final points or messages you would like to send to address about digital twin, about the use of digital twin in manufacturing, let's say, starting with Laszlo, your final message, let's say.
The value of digital twin raises from the fact that we humans are visual animals. We like to see things. And we can make decisions based on things that we see. Even if we gather the most sophisticated data, if it's hidden, if it's not visible, then we don't use it. So the value of the digital twin, that's how it culminates in digital transformation, all the data's value into a digital twin.
Thank you, Laszlo. Timur, your final message, your final statement in this really interesting webinar. You are on mute, Timur.
Yeah, just to summarize what I mentioned before. So I think it's you should start the journey, and this journey starts with data, and based on the data that you can gather, like both real-time data and historical data of your business. Model and predict the future. So this is where you would end up. Don't get frustrated in the journey. So it's start small. Start with easy solutions. Like Twizo is very convenient solution from what we discussed today, and there are many other aspects that you can implement without huge investments. Try and welcome to the digitalization journey.
Thank you, Timur. Michal, your final statement, your final message in today's webinar.
Sorry, go to the App Store, download the app, and let's jump on the journey.
Of course, great. Excellent. So, guys, thank you. Really, thank you so much. That was let's say, the last question in this very interesting digital event. Thank you all for joining us today. We hope that all of you enjoyed it. I did it. Special thanks to our three great panelists, Laszlo, Timur, Michal. Really amazing sharing this panel with you all today. Now, Jörg Tuchen, chair of UTEC's Climate Action Alliance, is going to provide you a little present in the name of the UTEC. Jörg, the microphone is yours. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Now, yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Federico. My name is Jörg Tuchen. I'm chair of the Climate Action Commission, as well as managing director of GoBlue Now. We're a climate consulting company supporting other companies on their transition towards a 1.5 degree compatible future. And first of all, thank you very much, dear speakers and panelists, for being here, for sharing your impressive expertise and insights and for having such a lively and engaged discussion. That's really great. And therefore, it's my pleasure to hand over a tree certificate to each of you. It's always a special pleasure for me to hand over tree certificates, which is obviously clear after I have introduced myself, because both my private role as well as my professional role have very lot to do with climate change and climate protection, and obviously trees are related to that. Even though I cannot show you the tree certificates today, which I typically do, I will definitely send them to you after the webinar during the day, I assume. I would quickly read out at least your names so that you know that you will receive a tree certificate. So we have tree certificates for Mikhail Ukropek, as well as for Laszlo Georgipal, as well as for Timur Aliev. And even though you gave me a hard time with your names to pronounce them correctly, I hope I have been somewhat close. I end up now by saying again, thank you very much. That was really a pleasure to have you in this webinar. If you are interested in wanting to know more about our tree planting program in Africa, or the kind of professional services GoBlue Now is offering for its clients related to climate transition, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to engage into any kind of conversation, address and answer all your questions. And by having said that, I hand back to you, Federico. Thank you very much and have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jörg, and a pity that we don't have the tree certificates to show them now, but as you said, we will have it during the day, and the speakers will receive it very, very soon by email. And to our audience, thank you again for joining us today. Please join us at our LinkedIn Sustainable Manufacturing group. We hope to see you soon at our next events, and as always, remember, technology obliges. Thank you so much, and goodbye. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.